Hi, I'm Saren.
And I'm Ray.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics. Gimme, gimme.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. In a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there will come a day when heroes must arise to face a threat that no single hero could face on their own. They are the Avengers, and this is Avengers Declassified. We're talking about what could not be spoken of.
Tops.
Such as the Illuminati film. Philip, the Illuminati.
Yes.
Written by the great, the beloved,
Brian Michael Bendis.
the hero of the Marvel universe. Look, Philip.
Jed McKay? What? Huh?
Here's what I'm going to say. So here's what it comes down to. There are guys like Brian Michael Bendis who know their stuff.
That's Charlie. I'm Phil. So, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, okay, so Phil. So let's start. I am Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber of the Burger Pits.
Phil, podcast Perich, feeling very naked without the music.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying.
I know. Longer intro. I know.
It's a new format. I gotta find my placing.
It's only been a month.
Has it been?
Episode 4. We're already at episode 4.
We're at episode 4. Was the first episode the big change, or was that the last episode of the old show?
Wait, what?
The big change.
Oh, no. That was like the penultimate super connectivity was the big change.
The big change. That was
penultimate.
You can read an article about it over at CPR if they'd like to credit us. So,
yeah, CPR.
Just telling you, Brian, we want our money.
We need the money.
I'm joking.
Treat you like you're Dracula.
I'm reference from a meme that doesn't exist, but that's okay.
Cut your face off.
Moving right along. So this episode, we're discussing the Illuminati, issues 0 through 6.
Again, like I said, they did it for the app, I think. But yeah, the one that they have as labeled as issue 0, it was like a one-shot, and they had a number 1 on it. It was right before the first Civil War. And then I think on the other side of Civil War, they must have been like, hey, the kids like that issue. Let's do a 5 more issues.
Well, because it makes sense for what Brian was doing at the time.
Oh, yeah, because he was setting up Secret Invasion with those other ones.
It's like Brian... And this is what I'll say for Brian. He was a guy who took a shot.
Bendis.
He got a job at Marvel. They started writing a bunch of stuff into the background. And he said... And then they had one of their big meetings, and they said, who has a good idea for a big crossover? He says, well, actually, I've been doing a crossover for the last 5 years I've been here.
He pulled a Claremont. He's like, I got 20 plot threads going. You want me to pull one out of my hat?
It's okay, Trisket.
Bendis.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you! Some kid trampled Charlie Esser's microphone.
When Tristan slammed on the computer.
Enough of the karate kicks!
Did the karate kick, and that turned on the mute, and then I couldn't be heard. But when the greats like Claremont and Bendis and Byrne, when they started working on like 6 books at once, they said, "No, it all ties together. I'm coordinating it." The difference is that Byrne was the one guy who said, "Hey guys, here's what I've been trying to do. if you want to work with this, you can.
How close were we to Tony Stark's parents being Skrulls?
Very close. Honestly, that is just the worst thing. That's the thing. Like,
that's the one thing you don't forgive him for.
Well, no, here's the problem with Bendis is he flew too close to the sun.
Yes.
He was Icarus. They said, okay, Bendis, you're real good at writing these things. Why don't you write these things?
Tony Stark's.
He wrote these things.
You know who Tony Stark's parents are? No one you ever heard of.
Didn't make sense, but that's okay.
Random Hydra agent, random rock star.
That was just a weird idea. It wasn't even Dazzler. Come on. You could have his mom be a rock star. You could have had it be Dazzler.
I don't know. I don't know if the age would have matched up. I mean, she might actually be younger than him. I don't know.
Sliding time, fellas.
Oh, X-Men time travel.
You could have freaking Captain America be Tony Stark's dad. No one would know.
Could have been. Could have been.
I mean, quite frankly, literally, could have been.
Can you imagine?
It's like, well, technically,
Tony.
Turns out the reason you're so smart is because your dad had big human intelligence.
Oh my God, Tony Stark's. Oh my God, super soldier serum.
Yeah, well, as you do. But that brings us to a very interesting aspect of the Illuminati, because the Illuminati is an interesting series of books.
Oh yeah,
and this is basically so. And here's what's interesting about this, because this is something Brian Michael Bendis did. Probably expressly because in the 60s, Stan Lee would do these crossovers where suddenly Tony and Reed and Charles Xavier would be working together to deal with the Hulk problem.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden, it's like these main leaders of the Marvel Universe were suddenly dealing with an issue, usually the Hulk, that they had to keep under control. And it's interesting that that is also the central precipitating factor of the Illuminati. So when you would have these stories where the Hulk and Tony Stark and Reed Richards would show up as the three quote-unquote human characters trying to deal with this real problem of the freaking Incredible Hulk, yeah, Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, Bendis looked back and said, that's interesting that they all showed up. Why does Reed know who Charles Xavier is? Now, in truth, Reed would know who Charles Xavier is. He's an academic. He writes papers on human genetics, so it makes sense in that retroactive continuity. But Bendis decided to say, no, they're actually all in the club. And that gets to issue 0, where Tony has an idea. And here's what I'm going to say. This is what is interesting that differentiates the MCU Illuminati, both MCU Illuminatis, because there is a main MCU Illuminati that no one is talking about, and Bendis' Illuminati. Because Bendis' Illuminati is founded by Tony Stark.
Yes.
And the one thing that you can say when you read issue 0 is Tony Stark is the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah. Well, Namor's there.
Namor is there, but Namor is dumb enough to know he's dumb. Tony is dumb enough to not know he's dumb. And that's just slightly a level below, where you're super smart, but you're also not aware. You have, what do they call that? I forget what they call it, where because of your idiocy, you don't know you're an idiot.
Oh.
So you start talking.
Yeah.
It's what I have. I live with that every day.
Oh, no.
But the idea is that Tony is super, super, super smart. And he's super smarter than everybody he knows. But because of that, he assumes that he knows more than everyone else. But he's also in a room with people who are way, way, way smarter than him. And the dumbest guy in the room is Namor, next to him. But Namor is at least old enough to know no, man, I did this whole I'm the smartest guy in the room thing, like in the 40s, and it really ended badly. Like, the one thing I've learned since I was being the complete idiot of the invaders was that, the oceans can't wage war on the surface world, because the surface world is on the surface, and that's actually like the high ground. And so I don't have the high ground because I live in the ocean. And I didn't think of that before now, because everyone can just shoot down on my people, and that's bad for me. Obi-Wan was right. He had the high ground. Anakin should have said, man, you're right. You got the high ground. I can't do nothing now. So I will call it a day, Obi-Wan. I'm going to go back. Me and the Emperor, we're going to figure out what we'll do next. I'll keep my arms and legs, and that'll be fine. Hopefully my children, who I think are dead, are okay. No, you didn't know his kids were dead yet. Hopefully my children will be okay. And we'll talk about this later. Since you have the high ground, Obi-Wan. Or they said, well then, no. Then I'm just going to wait you out, Obi-Wan, because, yes, you have the high ground, but because I have the low ground, I could actually call stormtroopers me water and food and the like. So I'll wait you out. Anyway, that's Star Wars lore. As this story goes on, we do several different bits in the history of the Illuminati, including the Illuminati invade the Skrull homeworld.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Before we get there, like the very first issue, I mean, that's issue 0 on the app. They go to T'Challa to see if he wants to be part of the group. He's like, no, this ain't a good idea. He's like, get out. I want nothing to do with this.
I mean, hey, yeah, I wore my Black Panther t-shirt expressly because of that.
Yes.
Yeah, because immediately Black Panther's like, dude, already you said, well, we'll just keep this secret. We won't tell our friends or family. We're going to control every decision for the planet ourselves.
Oh yeah, he's like, you guys have already decided you're the smartest people in the room, and yeah, no one else's opinion is going to matter. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's sad about that is that the second dumbest person in the room, Namor, doesn't realize that as well. He's close to it. He's almost as smart as Black Panther.
Yes.
He's almost as smart as Black Panther to say, you know what? Because Namor is also just kind of the second voice of reason, but he likes to punch people. And that's basically Namor's thing. It's like, I'm like the Black Panther. I know that this is a dumb idea, but I want to punch people to tell you it's a bad idea. Poor old Reed's just like, no, I mean, the math works. You know, because that's the thing for Tony Stark, is that Tony Stark has a gut feeling about this. Reed actually did the math.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other episode of this.
Well, yeah, before we get to that the issue where I actually go to the Skrull, like, homeworld, you know, Tony's like, you know, it's after the Kree Skrull War. He's like, you know, we got lucky. We didn't survive because we had a plan, or we were like the superior force. We got lucky. He's like, we need to prepare. We need to plan. We need contingency plans. We need to Batman this crap.
But you know what's ironic about that is that Tony's whole life has been that he was lucky. It's like everything that has happened to him has been because he was lucky.
He was born in the money.
Lucky to be the greatest, you know, weapons builder.
He was born in the money.
He was lucky that when he got hit by shrapnel, people felt it was worth it to keep him alive so he could build more weapons.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all of these random... So this was the thing. I used to, when I would game, I used to do this thing called the Argos Protocol. So if you know anything about Jason and the Argonauts, there is this quality of it, which is that Jason wasn't looking for adventure. He just got picked by Hera to be his blessed one. And so a lot of stuff happened to him, and he had to deal with it. And because he had to deal with it, his life wound up in ruins. Because by random factors, he was the chosen one this week. And the idea of someone just being chosen and having to deal with it is an unfortunate reality of most heroic stories. like, being chosen isn't a good thing. And if you are a person who finds yourself chosen, finds yourself who has to deal with what the universe is going to throw at you, it usually winds up poorly for you, even if it works out okay for the universe. Any thoughts, Phil?
Nah,
I kind of went off on a tangent.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So, do we want to get to the point where they make it to the Skrull home world?
I mean, well, they make it. I mean, that's issue. Is that issue?
Well, it's
two?
quote unquote issue 1, but yeah, it's the second issue. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is issue 0 is so okay. So for those who haven't read these books,
Yeah, issue 0 was.
Issue 0 is effectively.
It was kind of its own thing. It was
origin.
and it was leading up to like Civil War and getting Hulk off the planet and stuff.
The origin and the end of the story. So that issue 0, which I think might have been a Free Comic Book Day issue. It's the start of the Illuminati and the end of the Illuminati. Because the start of it is this idea that the heroes have to band together, and the Black Panther says, "No, dog, I'm out." And the end of it is them deciding to send the Hulk into space for reasons, which even now sounds so much stupider.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing. Is like even like Dr. Strange says, like, yeah, I tried that once. Why are you guys going to do this? It doesn't work. The Hulk will come back, and he will probably be even more mad. And that is literally the thing. It's like someone tried this, it didn't work, and their idea is like, no. What if we pick the best world and the best thing and the best yada yada? And here's the thing. There's a what if where it actually works.
Yeah.
And it actually does work out nicely. And the Hulk just becomes sort of the god of the planet because he allows the various sentient beings to rise, and he keeps them safe, and he does these things, and it's actually a beautiful story. Because the planet they actually sent him to would have been great. But it didn't happen that way. And that's why the 616, it's not the world that's the best. It's just the world that's the most entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other universe, the Illuminati's plan worked. It's like there's another what if story about this, which is like, what if Cap had actually just said, you know what, Tony, let's talk.
Yeah.
And rather than fighting Tony, he just says, okay, so this doesn't work, this does work. Let me make this better. And it actually does work at that time. Now, interestingly enough, in that situation, it is literally that everyone trusts Cap, so we can put Cap in charge. Ironically, years later, they would undo that with the Secret Empire arc. But at the time, it worked. Now, obviously, if someone can corrupt Cap, if you can give him a copy of the Darkhold or a Serpent Crown, it changes the whole story. But Cap in his base form works, and you could solve the problem. But that's not what we get. What we get is the team working through several issues. We get them going to the Skrull homeworld.
Yeah, right after
attack them.
Well, right after not even to attack him after the Kree-Skrull War. They're like, "Oh, you better not come back to Earth, or there's gonna be trouble."
Yeah, and they didn't open with. I don't think they opened with. Did they open with Black Bolt just annihilating the capital?
No, they all I think Doctor Strange teleports them all in, and they basically introduce themselves, and they're like, basically, yeah, we're Earth, and don't you come back, and then that's when the Emperor or whatever's like, what,
yeah,
grab him, kill him, and that's when they're like, Black Bolt, yeah, open your mouth.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's the whole crux of it. Is like it is a whole.
Oh yeah, because he even says that you're gonna die, all your families are gonna die, and they're like, yeah, Black Bolt, sing him a tune.
Yeah, and Black Bolt does do a lot of damage, but it's not enough, obviously. Because it even comes back later when they're trying to escape. Black Bolt's saying, "Open the pod bay doors," They're like, no, we're too high up. He can't do what we need him to do.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they were like on some kind of like flagship. They blow it up, yeah, and then they're like trying to like escape they're like flying away from the planet, but I guess the Skrull ships like catch them.
Yeah. I mean, they get away, and we actually get Tony Stark basically doing the, what he always says is that, aliens versus cavemen is a one-sided battle until an alien drops a laser gun, and suddenly it's even.
Yeah.
And we see Tony picking up the ray gun and suddenly start just decimating everyone.
Well, yeah, because at first, like, the Skrulls come to him as disguised as the Avengers, like, oh, we've come to rescue you, and he's like, how stupid do you think I am? And then he throws some like karate moves, and he's like, oh, thanks for the training, Cap. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that is the crux of it, is that Cap has trained him to be a warrior, and at this point, this is war, and this is the underestimation of the Skrulls, of the human population, because even at the end, this freaking Skrull Emperor, but you got the data you needed, right? Good, then we will certainly exact it. Now, honestly, this Skrull leader, he's dead 20 years by the time Secret Invasion happens.
Oh, yeah.
So let's call a shelter half an entrenching.
They had a queen by the time this whole thing came out.
Yeah, but and only because the Silver Surfer freaking saved them. I mean, they call a shelter half an entrenching tool because the Silver Surfer decided that the Skrulls shouldn't all die out. The Silver Surfer decides to save the Skrull race. Then the Queen decides, now we will enact our secret invasion.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the Silver Surfer's morals. I mean, to save his one planet, he led Galactus to how many planets?
To be fair, without a doubt. I mean, that's what is the thing about the Silver Surfer. But that's why he's not a member of this Illuminati.
But yeah, I mean,
anyway.
they studied all their DNA. I mean, they took Tony's armor, so yeah, they have a sample of human tech. They have mutant DNA and human DNA. They were studying the eye of Agamotto. It's like,
yeah, but that's things being equal.
All they needed was to think, okay, what do we need to escape detection by all magic and technology and.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually. I mean, that's the thing of it. It's like, I really feel like at the end of the day, so much of the Skrulls were always on their back heel. Like, because I mean, even when 3D Man comes back, when Triathlon gets the 3D Man goggles, and they're like, oh no, this will let you see Skrulls real easy. It's just like, put them on, you can see the Skrulls. Because that's the magic of it. And it's like, the Skrulls aren't ready for the Marvelverse. They're not equipped. And, maybe they'll do better in the MCU with the new Secret Invasion, which I'm hoping that the entire cast of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be back for. Because they have said it takes place in the space between the blip, which is exactly when the Secret Invasion stories occurred. So I will be very happy to see some group of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show up in that.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just...
Well, they said... didn't they even say recently, they said that Secret Invasion is going to take place during the blip? And they're like, Nick Fury's going to be in it, so they're like, wait a minute, didn't we see Nick Fury blipped? But it's like, was that Talos, or...
Well, one or the other will be there. Yes.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's the end of the story. It's like, yeah. So it's in the blip. There was a Nick Fury active. It'll either be Talos or it will be the real Nick Fury.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was Talos who got snapped.
The Nick Fury we saw blip could have been Talos, which is an interesting other aspect of it. Which is that because again,
he had the beeper.
When we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill, it's Talos and his wife.
Uh huh.
And to be fair, they're the ones who had the pager.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Nick Fury was already up on the Skrull space station, monitoring things, as he was sending Skrulls down to do his dirty work. And then when And that would make sense. So here's my big prediction. Mark my words. Hopefully they don't hear this episode and then realize they have to rewrite everything. So effectively, this Talos and his wife we see get snapped. He calls on Ms. Marvel, and Nick Fury is in the space station then, who's been watching all this stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, great, my LMDs failed. Because he's been using the Skrulls as LMDs. But there's a second group of Skrulls who've been infiltrating humanity. It's like, Skrull versus Skrull. We got to do a little civil war. Oh, we're going to get the Krees involved. Okay. And it's going to be this whole thing of Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury sort of manipulating everyone behind the scenes. And, mark my words, we'll get a Watcher involved at some point.
Well, maybe.
Because Uatu is just bad at his job.
Or,
which we'll talk about.
Maybe they're going to flip the script and, we're expecting the Skrulls to be the bad guys. What if the Skrulls were working with Fury? What if it's the Kree or somebody who's the threat in that?
Oh, yeah. No, they're all threats.
I'm just saying, I mean, everyone's expecting the Skrulls to be the bad guys. What if they aren't in this?
Well, here's what I'll say. The Kree are the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've already established the Kree as the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, as Talos said at the start of the story, look, I've done a lot of bad things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The Skrull are also a war race. Because here's the idea. So when you become the expansive race of the cosmos, either you're going to be a warrior race, always looking for more resources, or you will be the race that established lack of scarcity because you invented a replicator, and you can be Star Trek. And because you have invented a replicator, you don't need to conquer other worlds. You're just visiting other worlds to be nice. That's a different world. So the Krees and the Skrulls, all they know is their warlike nature. Even if they've already invented replicators, they know that, our whole purpose is war, so we're going to war. And that the Skrulls lost the last round doesn't mean they're not going to come back to be warriors in the next.
I mean, we're calling this secret invasion, but what if we're also getting the Kree-Skrull war and Fury has to choose a side and he chooses the Skrulls?
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be a differentiation from the comics.
Yeah.
And that would be a good thing, because...
I mean, we've already seen him work with the Skrulls and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing at the end of the day, is, like, the Skrulls ain't so bad. The Kree ain't so bad, although they're actually all are pretty much space Nazis. So, there's no easy way to work it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, Phil, you want to talk some comic books, or do you want to talk some more about... Oh, I have to talk about this. This is the thing that drives me mad in the issue with the Beyonder.
Yeah, yes. What is that, issue 3? Oh, my God. Because issue 2, kids, Reed Richards decides it's a good idea to collect all the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, honestly, that works for me. Even with the Uatu showing up, like, how could you do this, Reed? It's like...
I know, but it's like it was so hard to find them because, like... But it was just like, oh yeah, they're a menace out there in the, in the pocket universes and stuff. Let's bring them together. That'll make everything much safer.
Well, but again, Reed's whole point is he wants to bring them together.
I know.
To destroy them.
You basically do a new Infinity Watch. Yeah, it gives one to each of the Illuminati, and it's like the rest of us, no one will know where you hide your own.
No. His intention.
Oh yeah, he was
destroy them.
Oh yeah, he assembled.
So this is like the big differentiation.
He assembled the gauntlet
between the MCU and the Marvel 616. Is that he tries to destroy them, but the stones won't let him destroy them.
Maybe not. Maybe Thanos thought he destroyed those gems, but they just went somewhere else.
I mean, in the MCU, yeah.
Yeah. And even if he destroyed their physical form,
what is established in the comics is the stones are sentient. They know what's going on.
And even if he destroyed their physical form, that energy's out there somewhere.
That's the whole point. This energy can't be created or destroyed, so they all have to work through it.
All right, yeah, let's get to the Beyonder issue. Issue 3 takes place right after the original Secret Wars, which stay tuned for August, kids.
Well, this is like the big differentiation. He's supposed to be the Yeah, and you know what's weird about it? Because it clearly takes place in the middle part between Secret Wars 1 and Secret Wars 2, but already the Beyonder is wearing his Captain EO look. And what's weird about that is that's not his look when he first showed up.
I know. Well, they said that this thing was written so weird. Well, again, too, I mean, this isn't his origin, his origin we know in here, but they're like, it was written so vague. It's like, was he just playing games with them, or...
I honestly feel it was him playing games. I honestly feel this was a later version of the Beyonder who came back in time to put some memories in Charles Xavier's head.
It's possible. It's like, hey, I don't want them messing with me during Secret Wars 2, so I'm just going to sprinkle some, I'm going to mess with their heads.
Well, yeah, but, and again, within the concept, I think it is literally just the idea that he pulls them out of time, if you will. And does this whole adventure between Secret Wars 1 and 2.
It almost looks like he's plotting out Secret Wars 2 on this asteroid, like before Secret Wars 2. It's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go visit.
He's having fun.
I'm going to visit Power Man and Iron Fist. Spider-Man's going to show me how to use the toilet.
Well, yeah, and within that entire concept, it is that he is playing these future events out for them, and at the same time, he is also. This is why I think. So here's the thing about Beyonders. They exist. They're like the Cube.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They exist at all time and space. They exist in one history, which is why I hold to this day. And Marvel can use it anytime they want because they already wrote it. That who the Beyonders are is a universe, in a what-if universe, where Korvac won and effectively used the ultimate nullifier on the whole universe to nullify everything. And then prior to this, the three people that Korvac knocked out of the universe were the Phoenix, the Sorcerer Supreme, and the Silver Surfer. So those three were removed from the universe. When they were brought back into the universe is all effectively eliminated. There is a ultimate nullifier floating in what effectively is the center of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
The three beings decide to try and nullify nullification, and then what is left of eternity says, no, please do not do this, because I am the universe that was destroyed, and I ask that you let this universe exist as a warning to every other universe that if you try to control it, you will eventually wind up with nothing, which is a beautiful idea. At the end of it, the Phoenix decides to find a universe where maybe there's a universe where Jean Grey died, and I could just come into that universe and be Jean Grey then. That would be nice. Gee, do you know any universes where Jean Grey died and suddenly she showed up again? Philip?
Well, yeah, there's 616.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Yeah.
That was what they were setting up there.
But no,
and then, of course...
Yeah, no, I mean, this whole issue, I think it's the Beyonder wanting them the Illuminati to underestimate him. It's instead of this big cosmic figure, he just pretends, oh yeah, I'm half mutant, half inhuman. Okay, they can deal with that. They won't worry as much about that.
It's a messed up story. Yeah, to be honest with you, I enjoyed it, but it was a little bit weird.
I think that's how.
A little bit of a flex.
I think that's how everyone plays it. It's just the Beyonder was playing with them because it's like I don't know if Bendis was trying to reinvent the wheel with the Beyonder. It's like he doesn't need reinvented. He's fine the way he is.
No, I actually think he did.
I mean, he doesn't need to be an inhuman mutant. Come on.
Well, what I will say is
you're dumbing him down. You're dumbing him down at that point.
No, what I will say is that's the thing. It is so much a dumbing him down.
Yes.
That you immediately go,
it's a trick.
That's probably him pulling a trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, that's what it is, you know? And every other attempt to say the Beyonder isn't the Beyonder
Oh yeah.
is, you know, that's the thing. It's like everyone's so mad that there might be an omnipotent God who is truly omnipotent in another universe.
Don't worry, guys. I'm mortal. Oh wait, I'm crumbling to dust. You don't have to worry. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. And, man, and at that point, I'm almost feeling like Bendis deserved freaking credit on Infinity War. Like, oh no, I'm crumbling to dust. Because you get the same thing when Iron Man tries to grab an Infinity Stone. Oh no, I'm crumbling to dust. It's like, clearly everyone was like, yeah, Bendis, you kind of defined it a lot. And it's kind of like, so to put it to you simply, it's kind of effectively the same way that the Ultimate Universe kind of defined a lot of what the MCU and the Fox version would become. Even the Fox version died, but I think that there was a thought that the Ultimate version Captain America and the Ultimate version Avengers were going to be the standard, and then, of course, the Ultimate wound up being awful. And I think Marvel said, you know what, let's do something different. Let's pull it back. But at its core, it was always that idea of, oh, that's the new big thing. That's what we're doing to be edgy.
No.
And they put it in the movies, and then all of a sudden, and for what it's worth, that's the advantage of the comics. They give you that lead time.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can see something that looks really good, and they go, oh no, that's working out horribly. That did not work the way we thought it would. Kill it all. Anyway, as I said, the biggest annoyance to me is that they wrote that that Namor says the Beyonder was an something-ing something, but I don't know what he said. And it's really annoying because he called it an an.
Yeah.
And an means it has to start with a vowel, which are A, E, I, O, and U.
I'm telling you, it's Atlantean.
I guess it's an Atlantean curse, but then why cover it?
I don't know.
Give us an Atlantean curse we've never heard of, so that we can utilize it much in everyday life.
He's not calling him like some kind of an a-hole or something, is he?
But it's an ing.
I know.
So it's like there's a word I can think of where he's an A-word, F-wording person, but it's like that's a lot to work through on that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Anyway, final episode, Skrulls are infiltrating things.
Yeah, they take it
Too
to...
bad the Illuminati is falling apart at this point.
Yeah, they take it to the present, after they find out Elektra was a Skrull, yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the funny story. There is a what if about Civil War, which is literally just, what if Tony and Steve talked to each other for 5 minutes, and before Steve goes off on a nut and Tony goes off on a nut, they just say, okay, so what are you trying to do? And she says, well, this is what I'm trying to do. And Steve says, okay, well, what can I do to make that happen? And Tony says, well, you know what? If you could be the guy that's in charge of things, everyone would respect you because you're freaking Steve Rogers. You're the best of us all. And that becomes a thing. And then Steve and Tony have regular meetings. And one of the bits is like, oh, yeah, it looks like there's some Skrulls trying to infiltrate us. Yeah, we dealt with that. So all's well that ends well.
Yeah, but Tony was in the right spot because he joked about it in the Iron Man 2 movie, but there was 5 minutes in the comic, kids, where he was like Secretary of Defense, so.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
Tony. All right, Philip, let's talk some comic books.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, let's talk She-Hulk first. Gosh.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we got the trailer.
We got the trailer, which is the best trailer ever. She-Hulk is awesome. The Hulk is a jerk. The best line in this is like, okay, it seems your triggers are anger and fear. And she's like, you do understand that is what every woman experiences every day as a baseline. Because yes, it's a lot to take in. Here's the thing. And I do wonder if my fan theory, which is always given it free, that people call Jen Walters the She-Hulk because she sued S.H.I.E.L.D. to rebuild Hard, which might be why there is actually a damage control organization in this day and age. That she is actually the person who made that happen because Harlem got destroyed. Because she went and defended her cousin. Because people were trying to say, oh, look at the Hulk. And she was like, no, it wasn't the Hulk. It was the Abomination. And it was the Abomination because freaking Ross tried to destroy the Hulk. And you build out this storyline where it's like, yeah, you know what? I was a lawyer and I was trying to defend my cousin. And in this situation, it becomes this idea that she is being chosen to be the face of Kurtzberg, Lieber, and I forget the third person. It's not Book yet. To be the face of the law firm for superhuman law, and of course, her first client is the Abomination. So it makes sense if she had prosecuted the government on behalf of Bruce Banner for the crimes committed by the Abomination under the direct orders of the Hulk, of General Ross. But now, and to be fair, since General Ross is dead, maybe she's being hired to defend the Abomination because he's like, lady, I'm a soldier. I did what I was told to do. And I did what I became.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not commit war crimes. I was trying to kill Hulk. And it's an interesting premise and an interesting discussion to be had there. So that's my hope for the She-Hulk episode and the series, to see what happens.
Oh yeah. And we got Titania, and it looks like we're getting might be getting some other characters too.
Titania.
Yeah.
I did not like her entrance.
No.
It looked very silly. Honestly, for all the nonsense about, oh, look at how poorly the CGI... I thought her CGI was okay. I thought they got the exact right Ferrigno green with her.
Yeah.
So that there is an argument you could say that if they had just painted her and shot her from below, this would work. But yeah, I think they did they did a couple of shots that weren't the best.
The biggest thing I think is people were talking about the CGI on the face, and again, they have like 3 months to fix it, so
Yeah, they've got a few months to fix it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not worried about it. It's like,
yeah, no.
Honestly, here's what I'll say: if you are a person who grew up with freaking films and television, nothing was horrifying. And you're just going to say, okay, maybe there's going to be some bad CGI in it, but does the story carry it forward? If the story carries it forward, who cares?
Exactly.
But right now there's some concern about the effects, but we'll see how that plays out. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But I like what I've seen. Honestly, the thing that bothered me most was Titania. Because I really felt that her outfit was just wrong as she bursts in.
But again, is that only one scene too? I mean, we might get like a better costume the rest of the show.
It's only one scene. I get the feeling it's supposed to be kind of a professional wrestler look.
Yeah, maybe.
Which might be the introduction of the Unlimited Class Wrestling.
That's right, the UCW. Yeah.
And that would be awesome. Let's talk some books real quick.
Yep.
Let's do Fantastic Four.
43, Reckoning War.
Reckoning War. It's cool.
Boy, Doom's trying to steal some power. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, Doom's always stealing stuff. And I'm sure they're going to let him be like, I have this power, and yada, yada, yada. Which is sad in Fantastic Four book. Boy, see, they've already built the Armada We see that Doom has fought the bad guy, who also says, "Here, dude, here's all the power of that magic armor you got, so here's the headpiece." I'm actually, my favorite part in that is just the helmsman saying, "All right, you have defeated me, so let me tell you who I am." And Doom's like, "I don't care." Which is, when you think about it, actually kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But also probably it makes sense.
I know. He's like, all this time I was actually, and Doom's like, irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's largely irrelevant, but maybe there's details that could come in handy later. I guess what we can imagine is that Doom already knew.
I was going to say, he should have just been like, I know. Never mind, I know.
I know who you are. That's fine. Dude, I came in this event, I came into this fight knowing what was going on. Thank you for playing. Savage Avengers was pretty good. Talk about Avengers.
Oh, yeah, Savage Avengers #1, yeah.
Conan, we don't know where Conan's going.
I don't know if it's a rumor or speculation, but I thought they were saying like his solo books might get canceled, but they might be able to use him here as long as they don't like put his name on the cover or they don't like highlight him on the cover or something.
Here's my big suggestion: that Logan is gonna meet with Conan and say, "You know what?
Change your name.
You got a lot of hostilities towards you.
Change your name.
Here, let me give you this eye patch and this white tuxedo.
Change your
I got
name.
a bar in Magic War. You can run it for right now and be a sword for hire there. And you're gonna get a lot of books called Patch. I'm excited about the Savage Avengers, because we do got a nice attack here. And now, of course, Anti-Venom and
Dagger.
and Conan have been sent back to the Hyborian Age, so...
Yep.
These are the kind of things that make me think that someone at Marvel knew that this was coming. And it's like... And to be fair with you, I actually think that it's this idea that they knew it was coming, they've been prepared for it for a while. And it's really just this idea that, well, this was coming. Along those lines, we have the Marvels issue...
was that 10?
10, yes, there it is. Marvel's issue 10. All our heroes have gone through into the other universe where they have the giant celestial armor still just standing. And by the end of it, they come to Journey into Mystery Comics. Because the widow at the end of Forever is just trying to have some fun. That's the end of it. But he asks them all to... Well, he actually just asks them to browse the comics. So there's a lot of nonsense happening, which is fun. But I liked the Marvels. It's a nice take to re-establish what it means to be a Marvel hero within sliding time. And it's quite enjoyable. Phil, tell me about Thor.
Oh my god. Okay, so yes, Thor 25. So yes, this one was also oversized. Part 2 of Banner of War. It starts, oh my god, the Avengers and Fantastic Four standing around in, an Avengers Mountain trying to track down the Hulk. And Tony's telling Reed, he's like, yeah, I got all these satellites, I scanned deep space and all this. And he's like, I know everything that's going on in space. And he goes, and then a voice so loud that I couldn't help but hear it said, Hulk smash. And Reed's like, really? And Tony goes, no, I can't do that. He's like, no, Thor's Ravens came and told me where Hulk's at.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think this is the book that's going to make me stop reading Thor.
Yeah, I know. But then, yeah, Tony...
I guess it's the 600th issue. It's like, oh, isn't this exciting? And maybe on some level it is exciting. Personally, it's not. It's... Well,
yeah, and...
I do like Odin and Banner in Banner's head.
Yeah, so we kind of see...
But then also just Odin kind of like, oh, what's going on now? And Banner's like, oh, no, you rebooted the system. And now the Hulk doesn't know he's in the simulation.
Yes. Because yeah, well, Thor was ready to stand down out there, but yeah, then Tony shows up in celestial armor. Giant celestial armor.
Yeah, it all ends poorly, Phil.
Yeah, but there was...
one thing we can say is that it all ends poorly.
I know. I mean, there was some good there was 2 backups in this. There was an Enchantress story by Ron Frenz and Tom DeFalco that was pretty good.
The Enchantress story was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The story that everyone knows about Thor, where he wears a dress, was also fun. It's delightful, but at the same time, you also feel like, man, I have heard this story so much in recent years.
And it's like we're going by the actual Legends kid, so someone else could pick up Thor's hammer, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean and honestly, in the MCU, that's not, or in the Marvel comics, that's not a unique property anymore. It's like it's only like that didn't happen until the 1970s. So anything before then it's up for grabs, but. It worked. It was a lot of fun. It was funny. Although at the same time, we do have Thor commit genocide, so yay.
Again, they were going by the old Legends. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get where they're going with it. I just don't know if they got there.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and they were a lot of fun. Honestly, the Enchantress story was maybe my favorite. Because it literally is just her dealing with her own guilt and her own lack of self-esteem, which is honestly something I think a lot of people can deal with, even if you're beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're as pretty as Amora, you still doubt anyone thinks you're worth it.
Oh, yeah. Ron Frenz, Tom DeFalco, they were... Yeah, that was a classic team on Thor. They had some good stuff.
And to be fair, that's also... some pretty good names to get at the end of there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Philip. That is all I have to say. Do you have anything to say about our merch or Patreons or things like that people could give us money for?
Why, I'm glad you asked, Charlie. Yes, sir. Well, if you want to buy... Well, first of all, yes, you should subscribe to our YouTube channel. Smash the subscribe button. Everything we do has a video. Please subscribe to our Patreon. Again, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. It's a labor of love. So everything we do, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. So yes, please subscribe to the Patreon. $3 to $5 gets you all the creator interviews, Mr. D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets, and, of course, Capes and Lunatics merchandise. If you want something else for your money, yes, you get cups, phone cases, T-shirts. Yes, so much stuff on the website. Everything is at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And if you want to send in feedback, here I'm going to open the schedule next. We're going to be starting June here soon. So in the month of June, we're going to be doing a bunch of, it's in honor of Kamala Khan coming to Disney Plus. We're going to be doing some all new, all different Avengers. So next week, if you want to, send your thoughts on all new, all different Avengers 1 through 3 to CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes.
Leave a message and it will be played on the air.
Yes, sir.
As long as you don't use dirty words. Meanwhile, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That is all one word. Of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet things when I feel like it, since everything on the CW has been canceled this week. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Someone gets that.
All right, my friends, this time is dead. Darkness has fallen, but heroes have risen. And this has been Avengers Declassified.
Yes! The Illuminati. Illuminati.
Illuminati?
Oh!
If we may say so.
That's why Bendis did that.
All right.
Ah.
Yeah, well, that's all.
You know what? I think we had a theme this week. Tony Stark, not good at his job. Between that Thor issue, the Illuminati.
Tony Stark is always causing problems. He's the guy who's just smart enough to be in the team.
He's a narcissist.
He's also, he's a little bit too much in his own head.
And I can't wait to get to more
There's a reason
Iron
why
Man
Reed
stuff.
Richards is just like, Oh, no, I just want to explore the universe, man. I don't want to take over the planet. Thank you.
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your Khonshu on.